The T train is in Wisconsin, close to the Wisconsin Dells, technically Lyndon Station, Wisconsin. We have been here before, several years ago, before we started filming. This is our second 3-week stay here. We absolutely love this park. There's a lot of amenities. There are some sites that are going to be seasonal. There's no annuals here, but you're coming down a long stretch of road off of the interstate. And we're about, I don't know, about 5-6 miles from the Dells. There's also some things to do right outside of this park. And we love it here. It's all 30 amp, just FYI. But here in the end of July, third week of July, our high today is 74. So we rented a golf cart and have had a great time. Saw some friends here and have done quite a bit. So let's take a look at the rest of the Arrowhead Resort Campground so you can also come stay and have fun. Okay, all right, so there's the sign that we saw as you're coming in. And there's some cabins to be had immediately. There's also where the loops start. Then you'll start seeing your seasonals as well. All right, so you're coming to check in just like these folks right here. You got to check into the office. There is a men's and women's shower house outside of this. And on the inside of this guy is an arcade. They have some activities. The pools are on the back of this, as is the mini putt. There's your golf carts for rent. They do have frozen pizzas and some other snacks. They did one weekend have a pulled pork menu. They do lots of activities around holidays. Had their first poker run recently. You're just going to love the staff here. The inside staff and the maintenance staff, they're all fantastic. You could name them all. It's up to you to come find out and meet them. And so the laundry is also going to be on the side of this fifth wheel right here. And so it's a very nice little office, snacks, beer, sodas, and souvenirs. Okay, this is the other side of the office here. You can see those folks are checking in. And as I described, there's a couple of pools back there. There's your men's shower house. And the women's is right next to that, but there's also some restrooms in there. And sandwiched in between the office and the entrance to the pool and those restrooms is the laundry. I've got several machines for washers and dryers, but this is where you're going to go in and get your paperwork to come stay here at Arrowhead. Okay, we'll continue on this side of the office. You have Kids Rec, as you can see, sandbox, swing sets, tennis courts. I've seen some people using those as pickleball. There's also some basketball goals on the other side of that. There's a pavilion. They had a Bloody Mary bar there one weekend, and they have bands here sometimes. And that's usually where the band will set up, right there is that pavilion. We'll go on the back side of the office and take a look at the pools for privacy sakes, because there's people in them. And we'll take a look at that and the mini putt that's on the back side of the office from an elevated view. Okay, back side of the office, as you can see, there's two pools. One is a deeper plunge pool, and then you have a shallow pool. And we will let you decide. They're awful nice. They're pretty blue on the bottom, and the water stays nice and refreshing all summer long. There's some mini putt that you can see right down in there. It's a nice track, and we will take a closer look at the mini putt next. Okay, back side of the office, and as you can see, there's some of those nice mini putt holes that I was telling you about. There are some sites down here that back right up into the office. Not all these, again, are going to have a full connection. Just about everything is going to be water and electric, and you're going to be surrounded by seasonals, park homes, as you can see here. And people have some pretty elaborate setups. And this is one of the inner loops in here behind the office, and we'll start venturing out and showing you more of what the park has to offer. Great shot of the top of the park, or one of the tops, I should say. So this would be to the right of the office as you come in. We've actually stayed up here before when we first got here, so you have some RV storage if needed. Back in there, some frisbee golf cages inside of the park, a few of them. And these are great little cabins up there on the top. There's trails that run back here behind these cabins and surround the entirety of the park. We've been down them. They're great. Walk dogs on them, ride your bike, whatever you want to do. Nice sloping park. And you will have your seasonals more on the interior up here. But this is a great area to stay in, especially if you're not baking in the sun. And it's not, the park's not totally full right now, but on the weekends and during holidays, it's jammed. Okay, we're going back to the center of the park, back kind of behind where those basketball goals were. A couple more cabins here in the middle. And right down there, which would be to the left of the office as you come in, is the dump station, which will come into play if in fact you do not get a full connection. We'll go down there and take a closer look at that and what the bottom of this park has to offer. Okay, the center or bottom of the park, there's your kids' rec, there's your office again. We saw the pools. Most of the dumpsters are going to be here. There are a couple other ones that you can use, but these are this is the main area for trash. The dump station being right in the middle. They also recycle these two here, which is great. There are cans and stuff throughout the park. That is a big bounce pad and a soccer field. You have some sand volleyball over here, which is great. Nice little court there, and lots of cornhole, and a great area to walk your dogs. And this does go way back in here, sorry about that, into tent area camping. We'll take a look at that from the other perspective, facing our direction right here. Horseshoe pits are going to be right there. They did have a horseshoe tournament one weekend, and that was pretty packed right there. So more cabins leading up to some seasonals and a really nice area to stay in, which is where we got the live, which is a full connection. And of course, we'll show you that at the end. But for now, we will head over to the other top of the park, okay, and show you what that looks like. More cabins and basically seasonals with another tent area. So this thing has different tiers and bowls, and so it's great for walking and also golf cart riding or whatever you want to do, honestly. But you can eat up an entire day just kind of hanging out and just going and seeing different parts of the park. Love the top of the park, and there you go, looking back into the volleyball dump station, bounce pad. You can go down in this way. We'll have to show you that because there's a couple neat little places, one for sale in there. There are a few for sale, and they're pretty reasonable as far as seasonals go. And so yeah, there's this is almost all seasonal. Just a loop there, as you can see, park home. People have really good decking and some really good setups through there. That is all seasonal. That bathhouse is currently closed, but the one right by us is open. And you can see that there are some park homes for rent, but also cabins up here. And we'll go show you a stretch of those cabins. I haven't seen anyone going up here to just have a week or 2 week stay. This is mainly for seasonal folks up here and people that are renting cabins. Okay, so here we go. This is a mix of exactly what I was talking about. Your little park homes, your cabins, and then clearly these people are here basically all the time, right? With the decks and all that. So very nice up here. And this is where the park essentially ends until we go down into the tent area, which is back up here and behind these cabins and seasonals. Okay, just as I was saying, here's the tent area. Look at the skies. You can get some really good glimpses of the sky here. And so these are coming with a fire pit. Some of these are primitive. Some others do have power stanchions. So if you look down there, you'll see a couple that do have power. And so if you're here tenting for a little bit longer than, you know, a night or two, you may actually like that power, or just even for one particular stay. So dumpster, porta potties, a couple more porta potties down in there. You do see quite a few people tenting during the holidays. And there's a Wi-Fi pole here. I do need to mention that AT&T has been pretty rough at times, especially when it gets busy. And so we ended up expanding our internet capabilities with a Verizon box that's worked perfect. So if you come up here and you need some help, you can go visit a Verizon store and get yourself some Verizon. There's some extra storage, and the trails that I told you surround the entire park are going back through here. So you can go right up here. There's a right or a left junction, and we've done all that. I did it several years ago too when I was here. So great trails, nice and woody. A lot of mosquitoes, just FYI, so bring your spray and your bands. But yeah, real nice just to come down here for a golf cart ride and kind of just check out some stuff in peace. Okay, we're leaving the up top here. All right, and if you look back down there where we took a look at earlier, where the volleyball and bounce pads and all that, there's this little road that takes you into another loop over here. So I want to go in that because it's really cute. It's a smaller little area that feeds down into that hill where we saw the cabins and where I mentioned that we had stayed before. So there's some really good setups inside of here. So we're just going to take a quick glimpse at that and move on. Okay, so this is like a little mini loop up here. With some pretty good setups. There's one that's for sale right in there, and the one on the end is pretty elaborate, so we're going to have to take a peek at that. Got some really cool features on the outside, and people do have some really good parties and stuff out here. And this top of this park seems to be a little bit more secluded than, say, the rest of the park. So this side has some really nice eye candy. They've really done well here, and that's just a little travel trailer, but they've made the best of it. They've got really good ornamental things out here, and it's just great. We're getting a little bit of a breeze today, which is nice, but this is one of our favorite little places to drive by and just kind of say, look at that. This is an alternative look at the top of that hill that we were standing on, looking down at the cabins and explaining the storage. And all these are full connections right along here, starting with the top of the hill. And as you can see, I got another great setup across the way over there. I worked hard to put that deck together, I'm sure. So not everyone has a park home. They've taken in their seasonal and put in, a trailer or a fifth wheel and build around it. All right, we're on the other side of the bounce pad, as you can see, and tenting, and again, some power, water, if you like it, or you can just keep on going and get primitive and have none of that. There is a lot of these go unused the further we go back out here. Of course, that one's not going to be used right now. But the trail kicks out right over there. That's the end of the trail. And the beginning of the trail is way, way on the other side of the park. So again, great trails for walking. And but we have seen this quite full, especially on July 4th weekend. It was bedlam. Okay, where we're going next is what I call the wheel. That's like 3 loops, each one smaller inside of the other. All right, so when you came in, there's the office again. Across from the office, you have these turn-ins to these areas here. So we're at the very, very top. We'll save that for last. We'll start on the outside and kind of just give you an idea what that looks like. Most of the stuff on the perimeter is not going to have a full connection, but you will get water and power. All 30 amp, FYI. All right, so this is the outer wheel. So this is like the 100 section. And as you can see, we've got a lot of people that have commuted in with some great spots there, with some great shade. They just won't have a full connection. And a lot of these are a little bit smaller. So we saw some people tenting in these here. But clearly the seasonal folks, are going to be looking just like that with the deck and all that. So you are going to get in areas where you're closer to seasonals. But you're going to have a mix up here in this wheel because of the connections. They do free up some of these spots for people that are coming through or staying for, extended amount of time like we are, like the 3 weeks, because this is a Thousand Trails property. Probably didn't mention that at the beginning. Or a sister of Thousand Trails. I think it's part of the Trails collection package that we have through Thousand Trails. So we do have quite a few members that come in here, and we see lots of different license plates, but I've already met several Thousand Trails folks inside of here. This is the outer wheel, and we'll give you a couple more shots of each single loop until we get to the end here. Okay, so someone's coming in right here, so I kind of don't want to mess with them, but we do have some really great seasonals right here, as you can see, looking down into the folks that are staying in this bowl. See quite a few Florida plates that are showing up, trying to beat the heat. So let's go take a look at the other side of where they're checking in, and because there's some really good spots over there as well. All right, we're coming in the third wheel from a different angle because of the people that were checking in. But as you can see, there's the kids rec area, and the undulation in here is great. So it'd be nice to have a high spot like that. We can look down into the park a couple different ways. Everyone's been super friendly. I've had some good conversations with some folks, so good park. And can't speak highly enough of the staff and how we've been treated since we've been here. Inside of that last shot that we took, just to give you a little bit of more of an idea of what it looks like down through there, there is a cabin that can be had right there, smack dab in the middle of all these seasonals. I have not seen anyone who's commuting inside of here, but down through here is where you're going to start seeing some really, really great hangout areas as far as seasonal folks and their decks and getting together and having fires and stuff like that. Okay, last shot of this particular tire part of the wheel, the outer wheel. And just like I said, you've got some, everyone in here looks like it's seasonal until we get down there around where those folks were checking in. And that is going to be the second tier of the wheel, which we'll go visit next. It gets smaller as you go along. But wonderful shade on this side, if you like that kind of thing, and you're not worried about, having to run your ACs very much. If you're out here in the shade today in July, you're probably not even having to run your AC at all. You just sleep with the windows open. We're going to get down into the lower 50s tonight. Okay, we're entering the inner part of the deal here. You're going to get spots that you can have, seasonals and cabins, as you can see here. All right, and so give you a couple shots of this inner wheel, and then we'll go to the very top to our site and conclude this trip. Okay, these folks got it going on. They got a railroad crossing, and they like trains, so hopefully they like the T-train, but I think one day I'm gonna have to have one of those in my yard if I ever settle down. There's a great enclosed porch right there. You can see how people are doing it, and that's important with all the mosquitoes. The state bird of Wisconsin, apparently. And yes, so this is just another inner circle, mainly seasonals, but I have seen a few commuters. Okay, top of the wheel. Some really good folks live in the corner right here. Got to meet them, and they were super. Got someone backing in, sort of close to us right now. Bathhouse is working. 2 showers, a couple different stalls. We did have a full-blown dog fence with master canopy that we had set up under these trees for shade, and we're now leaving tomorrow, so it was time to take all that down. And as you can see, there's lots to be had up here as far as space goes, and some pretty good shade in most spots. You're going to get you some pine trees. This is a 30 amp connection, like I mentioned. The water's in a strange place. It's usually on the opposite side, but that's okay because our power stanchion is right there. And yeah, it's just a great park with a lot to do. And then the dells are spectacular, so you got to go check it out. And don't know what the pricing looks like for someone to stay here other than a membership, but worked out good for us, and we'll certainly be back. We take a look at the other side over here. And this is what the utility side looks like for us on this side. Hi, doggy. And yeah, we will certainly be back here to this park. Might be in a couple of years, but we had a great time. Thank you, Arrowhead. Safe travels to you and your family. Roll on, T-Train.